Hi, this is Tegan Carter. Thank you so much in your interest of this Italy trip for Navenna. I'm really excited that she's considering it. This presentation is what I would give at the parent meeting, and so I'm just going to skip past some of these things that we would cover and get to what you want to know. I'm not sure if you and Navenna are familiar with EF as a travel company, so I just want to mention a few things to you so that you feel comfortable with Navenna traveling with EF. So EF has over 50 years of experience. They've been around for a really long time, which I think is really great because if they weren't safe, if people were unhappy with them, that reputation would kind of get out there. And they have a really great reputation. They always have local and bilingual tour directors, so we will have a tour director with us 24/7. Which is really fantastic. Of course, I'll be with Navenna, and depending upon how many students we have chaperones for those students as well. There's 24-hour on-call service in the U.S., so you can get in touch with her anytime. EF has a really strong global presence, so when we're in Italy, there are local EF businesses and headquarters, I should say, around in that area. So if something were to happen, EF is definitely local. They give us these really cool backpacks when we travel, and we have travel wristbands, which will write the number of our tour director in those, and Navenna would have that on her wrist the whole time so that she could always have access to the tour director in case anything were to happen. There's also a really great peace of mind policy, so if for some reason we were planning on traveling next spring break and something crazy happens in Italy, like there's a hurricane and travel stops or something like that, the peace of mind policy means that they will guarantee us the exact same trip at a different time. So maybe we'll do it that summer or another time, but you're guaranteed that same trip. So the Global Travel Protection Plan, which is built into our cost, gives you some coverage. So if there's a family medical emergency or something like that, it means that you could cancel and you wouldn't be charged any sort of late cancellation fee or anything like that. There's protection for us if we're interrupted on our tour destination due to flights, or our baggage is lost or damaged, flight delay costs. So that Global Travel Protection Plan protects us for all of those things, as well as personal property theft when we're on tour, illness, or injury. So I have never experienced this, but I have heard of other group leaders who have taken kids and they've had an accident, a broken arm or something, and they said that it was amazing. EF was there immediately. Well, they were there the whole time, but they brought people in immediately. They took them to the hospital, and they were back on the tour within 2 hours. So they really take care of their people, and it should make you feel comfortable and confident that Navenna is with a tour company that's going to definitely be there for her. So there's a couple of things that I can talk to Navenna about if she signs up for this that are also positive aspects, and these are things that will help her to kind of stand out as an individual when she is applying for colleges and stuff, as far as how she can use this trip to her advantage. So I can talk to her about those things once she signs up. If you're interested in me going over these in more detail over the phone or something, just let me know. So our travel window is going to be over spring break. So Navenna would miss a few extra days of school because this is an 11-day tour. So ideally we would leave on a Friday before our spring break starts, go through that weekend, the next week, and the following weekend. So she would miss as minimal days as possible, but I really don't know that window until we get closer. A lot of it depends upon groups that are going and the flight plans and everything. So she could miss a couple of days of school. I just wanted you to be aware of that. Okay, so in the last presentation, I kind of talked about all of the highlights of what you'll see. So let me go over those because I think those were the things that you were most interested in. So tomorrow I will send Navenna home with an itinerary so that you can see it in more detail. I'm not going to go through the whole thing with you in this recording because you may want to kind of see it. Instead, I can just kind of give you some of the highlights so you have an idea of the extent of this trip and how amazing it's going to be. We'll have about 2 days in Venice, And so in Venice, we'll be seeing the main sites. All these places that we go, we're going to hit the main touristy sites. The awesome thing about it is that we'll have a tour director with us and local tour guides who have grown up in the area. And we get right in, so we don't have to wait around at the Sistine Chapel for 3 hours to get in. We have a time and we show up and we do it. So we get to see all of the main things. In Venice, we're going to, of course, go to St. Mark's Square. We're going to have a tour, an expert-led tour of Venice. We'll see the Grand Canal. We'll see a glass-blowing demonstration as well in Venice. Then we'll travel to Florence, and we'll have 2 days in Florence. So in Florence, this is where we will see the David. We'll see Botticelli's The Birth of Venus as well. We'll go to the Duomo as well, and so we'll visit that. And we'll have an expert tour guide of Florence. So we have these people that will take us around from place to place, and they'll really give us some insights that you wouldn't get if you just went there on your own. And then we'll have some extra time on our own to visit Florence. And I don't know what special things they'll have planned, but they often have special activities where they'll say, when you have some free time, these are the things that you can do. You can take a bike tour or do this or that. So there's always something amazing that they have planned for you if you want to do it. And then we'll be in Rome for 2 days. And so in Rome, this is where we'll see the Basilica of St. Francis. We will see Vatican City. We'll see the Sistine Chapel. We will see the Colosseum. We'll take an expert-led tour of Rome. We'll see the Roman Forum. So we will have 2 full amazing days in Rome. And then we go on our extension. And so we will then travel to Pompeii. And so we'll visit the Pompeii Roman ruins. And we'll have an expert-led tour of Pompeii. The next day we go to Capri, and so we get to take a boat cruise on Capri, and then we'll come home. So this is a basic overview of the itinerary. Again, I'll send this home with Navenna so you can see it. I don't get a real refined itinerary until closer to the trip. But rest assured, I've traveled with EF before, and really it's so amazing, the things that we get to see with them. So let me briefly go over what's included in the program price. So you have round-trip airfare, which is covered. You have on-tour transportation, and these are really nice buses. They're big travel buses, and so they have really nice, comfortable plush seats. Our tour director will be with us with a headset on with a microphone so we can hear the tour director really clearly. We'll be in safe, quality hotel rooms in all the places that we stay with private bathrooms. So Navenna would be rooming with 2 to 3 other girls. And these would most likely be girls from Capital that she would get to know. It's really a great opportunity to get to know new friends and meet new people. But they do have private bathrooms, which I think is really important. The hotels are really nice. They're not the fanciest hotels, but they're definitely more business class. So they're safe hotels. They're really clean and they're really nice. We have a full-time tour director, and these tour directors are awesome. They're from the area, and they're just fabulous. It is an educational itinerary, so that doesn't mean that we're studying books and that sort of thing the whole time, but they're there to give us the details and the information and the history of it, and that's what I think Navenna will just eat up. I think she will love that so much. There's local tour guides and activities that we do. So for meals, we get a authentic Italian breakfast and dinner daily. I've had their meals before. They're very, very good. And they do have accommodations if she has any sort of dietary things that need to be paid attention to. There's the other things that I talked about before as far as 24-hour assistance. There's a global travel protection plan and that sort of thing as well. So those are all the things that are covered. It's really an amazing deal for what is covered on that. Round-trip airfare is so expensive right now to get to Italy, and with all the food and everything that's included, it really is a great price. So what is not included are souvenirs or meals out. So lunches are out often, and also tips for the tour director and the bus driver and the local tour guides. So that ends up being about $10 a day per traveler for the tip. And so it just depends on how long your trip is as far as how much additional you'd have to pay for that. And I can explain that to you and Navenna in more detail if you would like. So, the lunches and snacks and souvenirs and stuff, that really ranges, varies as far as how much she eats and what she wants to buy. When I went to Spain one day, I spent $10 on food maybe. Another day I spent $40 because I bought some souvenirs. So it really just kind of depends. So those are really the only additional expenses are the tip money, for all of the people that make this experience amazing for us, and, extra stuff that you do on your own. So lunches are we pay for those because we're out and about, and a lot of times we have our free time during lunchtime. So it gives us a chance to go out and explore, and try some local restaurants and stuff like that, which is really cool. So, this is the price that you can see. So this includes a weekend supplement because we most likely will be going over a weekend and things are more expensive on the weekends. This includes, as you can see, everything that I listed, including that 2-day extension. And so this price is a decent amount to take for a trip, but considering that it is essentially all inclusive and it's your own private, you have your own private tour director that will take you and explain things to you that you couldn't see on your own. I think it really is a good deal. So this breaks it down for how much the monthly payments would be from here until the trip. There's also a price here for adults. I'm not sure if you're considering this trip as well, but there is that price there. It's more for adults because adults are paired up in rooms, so there's just 2 adults to a room. And so there's that added price. If you went with Navenna, you and Navenna could have a room together, and there is a little bit more cost for that, for Navenna to be in a room just with you rather than in a room with 2 or 3 other girls. So hopefully that answered your questions, and gave you some more information about it. There's some different ways to pay. I will also send Navenna home with a booklet that goes over payment plans and goes over everything that I've talked about in detail, so kind of the fine print. If you're interested, I think that's wonderful. I just think Navenna would love this trip. It seems just like her type of thing, and she's, I just really have enjoyed having her in class, so she's really who I thought of with this trip. But this gives you some information on enrolling. So there's an enrollment number here, and I will also have that on the handouts that I give to Navenna. And so you can go online to eftours.com and go to that tour number, and it'll pop up my tour. And so you should see everything that I just talked about in here as far as cost and stuff. There's also some great resources about EF online, too, if you want to search through their website. So I know this is kind of a lengthy presentation. I hope this answered your questions. Thank you again for your interest in this. And I hope to hear from you soon. I really would like to get these spots locked in by February 22nd to make sure that everybody gets in that wants to be in. So just let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully I'll be hearing from you soon. Thank you so much.